Good afternoon all. I am Shraddha Sheke from KK Wagh Institute of Engineering. I welcome you all in our lecture series on the course Digital Circuits. In this lecture series, we are discussing unit number 4, that is sequential logic design. Objectives of this lecture are to talk about what is a counter, then discuss about ring counters and the twisted ring counters, then ripple counters, up down counters and the synchronous counters. So maybe all these topics will be subdivided into two different lectures. So let's start. What is a counter? A counter in digital electronics is a circuit which is used to count clock pulses. A sequential circuit that goes through the prescribed sequence of the states upon the application of the clock pulse is called as a counter. Basically, it will count the clock pulses, and the clock pulses are also called as the count pulses. What are the applications of the counters? To count number of occurrences, generating timing sequences, count up or down, increment or decrement count, to count sequence of events, divide frequency, address or memory, and as a temporary memory. So these are some applications of the counters. Let us discuss about 4-bit ring counter. In our last video, we have talked about the shift registers, and we can say a 4-bit ring counter and the twisted ring counter are the applications of the shift registers. You can observe the diagram. There are 4 D flip-flops used. We know that one flip-flop is used to store 1 bit at a time. We have to design 4-bit counter. That's why we have used 4 flip-flops. You will observe the diagram. Flip-flop A, B, C and D are the 4 flip-flops which are used. The output Q of the last flip-flop is connected to the first input, that is D input of the flip-flop A as shown. QA, QB, QC and QD are the 4 outputs which are taken outside for connecting the LEDs. The first input of flip-flop A, that is D, is connected to the last output, that is Q. Now you will observe the output Q of flip-flop A, that is QA we can call, is connected to the DB, that is D input of the flip-flop B, and so on. That means output of the first is connected to the input of the next flip-flop. The clocks are common. That's why it is a synchronous circuit, we can say. Then if you observe carefully, the clear input of all the flip-flops are joined together. We need to activate them. In this diagram, clear inputs of all the flip-flops are activated for short duration of time, but we can activate the preset input of one flip-flop and clear of the other, because we want only output of one flip-flop should be on at a time. So in this case, what they have done, initially they have activated clear of all the flip-flops. That means output QA, QB, QC and QD will be 0, but the first input, first input of the first flip-flop is set as 1, so that at least one output will be 1. So that will be, you will observe in the truth table on the next page, observe here the diagram. QA is 1, right, and all the other outputs at the first clock pulse. You can observe the first rising clock pulse, observe the vertically. Initially QA, which is denoted by blue color, is 1, QB brown color is 0 for the first clock pulse only. I am not talking about the next. QC is 0 and QD is 0, because we want only one output should be 1 at the same time. The same condition can be achieved by activating preset of one flip flop and the clear of remaining 3 flip flops at the same time only for the short period of time, and then deactivate that. So now what will happen, you will observe for the first rising clock pulse as shown over here, the QA is 1 and QB, QC, QD are 0. So as QD is 0, you will observe in the diagram the QD last input output is connected to the first input. So QD is connected to the DA, that means QD is 0, that is why DA will be 0. But the QA, which was 1 previously, is applied to the DB, that means for the second rising clock pulse, first flip flop, that is flip flop A, will be in reset state. That means if DA is 0, QA will be 0, but the same instant of time when the clock was applied, at that time DB was 1, that is why QB will become 1 and QC and QD will be remain 0. As you can observe in this diagram, you can check, just a minute, I will show you the diagram. Yes, here. So in this diagram you can see for the second clock pulse QA is 0, QB is 1, QC and QD are 0, 0, and for the next clock pulse again so this is how the 1 will shift in a ring from QA to QD as in a ring counter, you can observe. Same thing we can experiment by setting 2 ones in a loop, that means by connecting the preset of 2 flip flops and the clear of remaining 2 flip flops. 4-bit Johnson ring counter. Next is a Johnson ring counter, or we can say twisted ring counter. You will observe here only the small change is done. The Q bar, that is QD bar, we can say the last flip flop, complement of that is complemented output of that is connected to the input of first flip flop. So QD bar is connected to the DA. All the other things remains unchanged. Same way I told you that you can here clear input of all the flip flops are activated, so that all the outputs are 0. So QA, QB, QC, QD are 0 initially, and QD bar, which will be 1, is connected to the DA, so that DA will be 1 for the next clock pulse. So observe the truth table. Initially all are 0 as I told you, but QD bar is connected to the flip flop A, that means the flip flop A will be set, that is 1, and flip flop B, C and D will remain reset. So B, QB, QC, QD will be 0. Next time you will observe QD is 0 and QD bar is 1. So QD bar is still applied to DA. So for the next clock pulse also QA will be 1. But the instant when the clock pulse was applied, at that instant DB was also 1. So QB will also become 1. You will observe here the second clock pulse, the truth table in the second clock pulse 1 1 0 0, and next time third QA will be 1, QB will be 1, QC will be 1 and QD is 0. After that all are 1. But what will happen the next? You will observe when QD is 1, QD bar will become 0 and that is applied to DA. So the flip flop DA or the flip flop A will be reset. So QA will be 0 and QB, QC, QD will remain 1, and so on. You will observe this truth table. So 0 1 1 1, 0 0 1 1 and 0 0 0 1. So this is the timing diagram of the twisted ring counter or the Johnson counter, right. So these two counters can also be implemented by using shift register IC 7495 during the practical session. Next is a asynchronous counter. So basically there are two broad types of the counters, that is synchronous and the asynchronous counter. So the synchronous counters are the counters in which the clock pulses of all the flip-flops are shorted together or joined together. So all the flip-flops will receive the clock at the same instant of time in case of synchronous counter. But in case of asynchronous counter, the external clock is applied to the first flip-flop as shown in this diagram, and the output of first is applied to the clock of next as shown in this diagram, and so on. So as the name is 2-bit asynchronous up counter, so as we know, a flip-flop will be used to store only 1 bit at a time. Here I have to design a 2-bit asynchronous counter, so I will draw 2 flip-flops. I have selected JK flip-flops over here. Now, as the name is asynchronous counter, external clock is applied to only first flip-flop, and the output of the first is given to the clock of the next flip-flop. You will observe. If you observe carefully, these flip-flops are falling edge triggered flip-flop. That means the flip-flop will trigger for the falling edge of the clock. That's why output Q of first flip-flop is connected to the clock of next flip-flop, and it is also taken out for the connecting LED and to check the output conditions. If you observe, the J and K, both the inputs are connected to the VCC, that is high. As per the truth table of the JK flip-flop, when both inputs are high, its output is toggling condition. That means it will change from 0 to 1. So let us say initially both the outputs are 0 0. As shown in this truth table, first row is both the outputs are 0 0. When first falling clock pulse is applied, as you observe, external clock is applied to only one flip-flop, that is Q0. That means Q0 will respond to the falling edges of external clock only. So for the first falling edge of the clock, Q0 first flip-flop will toggle, and it will change from 0 to 1 as shown in this diagram or the truth table. Now, this Q, that is the output of first, is given to the clock of next flip-flop. That means next flip-flop Q1 will toggle only for the falling edges of Q0. It will not respond to external clock. So remember that flip-flop 1 will toggle whenever Q0 is changing from 1 to 0. That is for the falling edges of Q0. So for the first falling edge only Q0 is toggling. You will observe the second row in the truth table, that is initially both are 0 0, and for the first falling edge of the clock, Q0 is changing from 0 to 1. But what about Q1? It will remain unchanged because the clock is not yet received. That's why Q1 is 0 1 and the decimal equivalent is 1. What will happen next? For the second falling edge of the clock, again Q0 will toggle because the input of the flip flop JK is connected to 1. So right, Q0 will toggle. So it will change from 1 to 0 again. Now this is nothing but the falling edge of the clock second flip flop. So Q1 will toggle now and Q1 will change from 0 to 1 as shown in the next row of the truth table. For the second clock, Q1 is 1 and Q0 is 0 and the decimal equivalent is 2. After that, for the third falling edge, again Q0 will toggle. Why? Because it is connected to the input is connected to the high and it will respond to the clock. But at that time Q1 will not toggle because the falling edge of the Q1 is not yet received. That's why it will remain unchanged. Q1 will remain unchanged. So your output is 1 1, that is decimal equivalent as 3. What will happen for the fourth falling edge if you check? You will observe for the fourth falling edge Q0 is going to toggle, but Q1 will also toggle as the falling edge of the Q0 has received or it is arrived. So this is how this is acting as a up counter. We can also observe the diagram or the waveform. The waveform is very simple in this case. We have to draw the Q0 from 0 to 1 for the every falling edge of the clock, and the Q1 will respond or it will toggle only for the falling edges of the Q0, and this is how we will get the 2-bit asynchronous up counter. Remember that the external clock is always connected to the least significant bit of the flip flop. If you observe carefully Q0, observe the column of Q0 only, it is always toggling 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. That's why the external clock is connected to the least significant bit of the counter. Remember that we have connected output Q to the clock of next, right, because this was a falling edge triggered flip flop. Now if you take a rising edge triggered flip flop, then the change is that for a rising edge triggered flip flop, instead of connecting Q to the clock of next, we will connect Q bar to the clock of next for up counting. Remember that. But if you are having same diagram like this, that is falling edge triggered flip flop, then if I have to change this circuit into the down counter, then instead of connecting Q to the clock of next, I will have to connect Q bar to the clock of next in case of down falling edge triggered flip flop. Observe this diagram. This is what we were discussing. This diagram, the flip flop shown over here are rising edge triggered flip flop. So instead of connecting Q to the clock of next, I have connected Q bar to the clock of next, right, and this is working as a up counter. The same logic, the diagram waveform is also shown. This counter will also count from 0 to 3 and 0 to 3 in upward direction. So remember the circuit connection, whether you are drawing the falling edge triggered clock flip flop or the rising edge triggered flip flop. 3-bit asynchronous up counter. Now observe, if 3 bits are there I have to use, then I will draw 3 flip flops. As the name indicates, asynchronous means external clock is connected to the least significant bit, which is QA, or you can say Q0 in this case, and output of that is connected to the clock of next, and so on. And the circuit will give the output from 0 to 7. as shown in the truth table. This one, this diagram is also 3-bit asynchronous up counter, but the flip-flops are rising age triggered flip-flop, and instead of connecting Q0 to the clock of next, we have connected Q0 bar to the clock of next, and this is how the circuit will work, and it will count in upward direction, as you can observe in the waveforms timing diagram. Observe carefully. This is a 3-bit asynchronous down counter. As we have discussed, initially first observe the clock pulses. This is a falling age triggered clock, right? The flip flop is falling age triggered. So if you are using a falling age triggered, for down counting, I will connect Q0 bar to the clock of next, and so on, and it will give you outputs from 7 to 0 as shown in the truth table. There are some disadvantages of the asynchronous counter. The main disadvantage is the propagation delay, because we know a external clock is connected to the input to only first clock, and the output of the first is connected to the clock of the next. That is why we can observe the propagation delay is present. So, the second flip flop will respond to the clock of the first, to the output of the first, and third flip flop will respond to the output of the second. As shown in this diagram, the propagation delay will go on adding, and the finally the number of flip flops increases, propagation delay will increase, and this is one of the disadvantage of the asynchronous counter. So, in next lecture we will be talking about the synchronous counter, and in this lecture we have discussed about the all the counters, Johnson counter, ring counter, also the twisted ring counter, and then the asynchronous up counter, asynchronous down counter, and what are the disadvantages of the asynchronous counter. So, thank you.